Friends, subscribe to my channel and like it is not difficult for you, but it is pleasant for me. Thank you very much, friends. Audi has taken the wraps off two new augmentations to the e-tron family, the Q4 e-tron and its slopped rooftop kin, the Q4 e-tron Sportback. With these minimized electric SUV contributions, Audi desires to extend their line up to offer a larger number of EVs in the US market than some other extravagance maker before the year's over. Both the standard Q4 e-tron and the Sportback will be offered in the US in a solitary battery engine design, yet with two distinctive execution variations. The 77 kWh battery is standard, while different business sectors, for example, Europe, will see a more modest and less expensive 52 kWh adaptation. Costs in the US will begin at under $45,000 before motivating forces. A new design direction, the Q4 e-tron appears to be genuinely unique from the current Audi line up. While the new plan language professes to show the world an unmistakable EV idea for the new Audi SUV, it's hard not to believe that the vehicle's lines have gone excessively adjusted, with a level face, high waistline, and low rake windshield, loaning it the state of your more customary hybrid than a far and away SUV. Might we venture to say it's a tiny bit of spot more mysterious than any semblance of the more etched Q3 and Q7? Conversely, the Q4 Sportback e-tron has a fairly special character, if still not exactly being the best proportioned. It holds the Tonka toy-esque wheel curves and level front of the Q4 e-tron, however, joins a smooth roadster roofline onto the top, making it particular, yet giving the Sportback 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles, more reach. It's not simply the general outline that is eminent to the Q4 e-tron, however. During the media instructions, we were acquainted with Audi's new Matrix LED headlights, which incorporate a component promoted as a world-first, adaptable daytime running lights. What this basically implies is that you can choose from 4 diverse DRL setups on the fly, with each enlightening explicit LED components on the front lamp, to make separate examples. Gimmicky? Indeed. In any case, it's the sort of customization we're advised will interest clients. Measurements: smallest Audi EV maximizes volume, albeit presently the littlest EV on proposal from the 4 rings. Specific consideration has been paid to the inside measurements, with more space accomplished on account of the MEB-devoted EV engineering. Measurements astute: the Q4 e-tron is 4,588 mm, 180 in, long, 1,865 mm, 73 in, wide, and 1,632 mm, 64 in, tall. It sports a wheelbase of 2.76 meters, 9 feet, and can tow up to 1.32 tons, 1.2 metric tons. It's about 90 mm, 3.5 in, more limited than a Q5, however boosts interior space to some degree on account of the batteries being put under the floor. Capacity compartments are said to add up to 25 liters, while the gear compartment on the Q4 e-tron has a volume of 520 liters. Inside, large water bottles and augmented reality. One component that was featured was the Q4 e-tron's capacity to store enormous water bottles in every one of its 4 entryway pockets. The Q4 e-tron is supposed to have the option to stockpile suppresses up to 1.5 liters in those entryway receptacles. Riveting stuff. The marginally seriously energizing news is that the Q4 e-tron consolidates increased reality tech into its head-up show. The framework was shown showing visual turn-by-turn guides. The route bolts are intended to show precisely where turns ought to be made, and the view has been intended to be what might be compared to seeing the Arkansas data on a 70-inch screen 10 meters in front of the driver. The Q4 e-tron likewise has the biggest focal screen remembered for an Audi, a 11.6-inch MMI screen calculated towards the driver, albeit this element might be accessible toward the year's end. It'll come standard with a 10.1-inch screen on the off chance that you select not to choose the bigger one. Both joyfully include independent controls for the HVAC capacities. Additionally present is either a 10.25-inch instrument show or Audi's virtual cockpit. Audi's partnership with Sonos starts here. Audi has joined forces with a general novice to the home sound game, Sonos. Sonos was established in the mid-2000s and renowned for its quality speakers and coordinated sound arrangements. It's a first for the Californian-based organization, which is perceived to extend its portfolio to incorporate auto sound. Sonos sound framework will be charged as a discretionary premium sound bundle for the Q4 e-tron. It shapes a piece of what Audi calls its sound cube, a completely incorporated programming climate that frames a sound framework engineering that can be effectively adjusted to all necessities and can coordinate sound frameworks of various providers easily. Basically, it implies you can add your own upgrades to the framework, perhaps settling the issue of those searching for attachment and play secondary selling sound similarity. Drivetrain, 2 variations for the US, 1 style of battery. The US will get the Q4 e-tron and Q4 Sportback e-tron in 2 flavors, specifically the 40 e-tron and the 50 e-tron Quattro. Both use a similar 77 kWh battery. The 40 e-tron has 1 electric engine driving the back tires for a yield of 150 kilowatts, 200 horsepower, and 310 Nm, 228 pounds-feet of force. It's 0-62 miles per hour, 0-100 kilometers per hour, time is accomplished in 8.5 seconds. The 50 e-tron Quattro highlights 2 electric engines driving each of the 4 wheels. The better variation includes a yield of 220 kilowatts, 295 horsepower, and 460 Nm, 339 pounds-feet of force. The 50 e-tron Quattro utilizes the additional ability to get to 0-62 miles per hour, 0-100 kilometers per hour in 6.2 seconds. Juice for Audi's 2 new electric SUV models can be accused of various yields utilizing rotating flow, AC, and direct flow, DC, up to 11 kilowatts with AC, and up to 125 kilowatts DC on a rapid charger. The last is useful for 130 miles, 208 kilometers, in only 10 minutes. Audi's fundamental assessed range dependent on estimate of EPA test cycles for a full charge is roughly 250 miles on the Q440 e-tron. EPA gauge is not yet accessible as of now. Audi says they've zeroed in a great deal on recovering energy from slowing down. As in a significant number of EVs presently, paddles in the driver's seat empower you to choose the level of regen, while the German automaker guarantees that up to 90% of all brake cycles can be recovered. Different business sectors, for example, Europe will be offered a passage-level model with a more modest battery. Known as the 35 e-tron Quattro, it has a lot more modest 52 kWh battery, while engine yield is likewise restricted to 125 kilowatts, 168 horsepower. Estimating the Audi Q4 e-tron is required to land in the US towards the finish of 2021. Estimating is to begin at $45,000 without ejective charges and other seller charges and duties. Audi says that the Q4 e-tron may meet all requirements for up to $7,500 in government charge motivating forces as well as could be expected nearby and state charge motivators, contingent upon the proprietor's region. Thorough valuing will be uncovered sometime in the future. In the interim, over in Europe, the Q4 e-tron will go at a bargain as right on time as June, with the Sportback models being offered in the mid-year. In Germany, costs start at Euros 41,900 for the Q4 35 e-tron. The Sportback will be around Euros 2,000 more. Thank you very much for watching the video. Subscribe to K0 Now and like.